Hi Church. Over the last couple of weeks, we've looked at formation, filled, and this week we're looking at found.
One day I went to a cafe and I just felt like I really wanted to speak to somebody, like this girl next to me. And we just started talking and we were talking there for hours. And at this time I didn't know Jesus. So she randomly just showed me she had like the music on her phone. So then fast forward when I gave my life to Christ, I had this fire in me. I needed a church. I didn't even know Hillsong was a church. I just saw the music. But after I gave my life, I knew I needed a church. So when I Googled one and I saw the name, I was like, okay. So that's how I found Hillsong. It's been a year now since I gave my life to Christ. And it's like, it never ends. It's His love every single day and Him actively showing me that he fights for my heart, and me just being so grateful for everything that is in my life through Him now, and the people and just everything. You just see differently and feel differently when you have God. It's nothing's the same anymore. So now knowing His love and knowing that He's within me and around me and before me and after me, it affects decisions, it affects your reactions, it affects how you see people, how you hear things. So my walk, I'm just like so grateful and like full of joy of just like knowing He exists. Even just that He saved me is enough. He didn't have to do everything else, but He did. So I'm just in love. I am an artist, and before, so I went to school for fine arts. So I would be obsessed with people's faces and do portraits. But when God entered my life, He used that work and new works to just talk about like my walk with God, and a verse that I first read, because my first time at church, Krishan was preaching, I got my first Bible. And he said, start at John. So that's what I did. So I have like a whole series of works just about John 1, like from verse 1 to 5, and it's about darkness coming into light. So I use that in a lot of my artwork and got to share my artwork around the world now. Just sharing that journey with God. I think when you learn that the earth is God's footstool, there's no limitations to, what you can see, right? Like, I can walk there and go there, but God is everywhere, right? So He can take us anywhere and show us things we never experienced before. And before I would be too afraid to go. And now I'm traveling by myself to these countries that the main language is not English, but I feel safe, I feel covered, I feel carried, and I get to share my love for Christ. Something I would say that would encourage someone, it would be to have faith in His promises, and to constantly pray. Prayer saved my life. That's actually the first thing. I didn't know who I was praying to or what I was praying to, but one day I was so broken. I said, God, take away my pain. And instantly He took it away. And that's the day I got baptized in my tub. And I remember depression, brokenness, shame, hurt just being ripped out of me. Like it was like gone. Like God said, it's done, And I would say anyone like on their journey, pray. Prayer saved my life. God will use what you have for His glory. So I didn't have a million things or $1 million or anything. He took the little I had and multiplied it and gave me this abundance and in my heart and in my life. So yeah, I would say to stay faithful and know that you're covered.
There is a grace or gift on churches, something special that they contribute to the broader landscape of God's kingdom. For our church, it seems we've been graced for environments of corporate worship that can be engaged with by this generation, and where people can profoundly experience God's presence and His love. Environments where people can be found in God, can come to Christ. We're committed to stewarding this grace or charism on our church. We also want to empower us individually to confidently be able to testify to the goodness of God and share the gospel, to keep our eyes open to the opportunities God brings us to sow and water seeds of what He is already doing in the lives of people. In Acts chapter 1 and verse 8, Jesus says, "You shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses to me in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the end of the earth." Let's be a part of the great work that God is doing in our cities to draw people to Himself. And let's steward the gift, the grace, the charism on our church to create environments where people can come and experience the love of God in a powerful and a real way.